Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Say it a couple more times, Dad.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Do it one more time.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, now get excited and say testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing,
All
1,
right.
2, 3. I'm Randy Allan. I'm sitting in a chair in the Chenoweth house. And the Chenoweth house gained its fame by being a house that was built by Lemuel Chenoweth. He was a very famous covered bridge builder, and to covered bridge builders, he is known nationwide. And this all took place over 100 years ago, and he was a very strong person, and he built remarkably well, a wonderful craftsman, and the unique construction features that he used, it's a shame they're not being used today. But he didn't take the mill down to Richmond. He took a model of a bridge down to Richmond to put before the Board of Public Works to see if they would accept his model. And when he assembled it, and he waited till last, everybody else had done theirs, he waited till last, and he'd assembled it by that time, and he got 2 chairs out, and put the model between 2 chairs, and stepped on the top, and took another step, 2 steps across, and stepped down, and said, "Gentlemen, that's all I have to say."
Well, and he won the competition, yeah?
Yeah, and the next year, when they sent out the bill, they said, as a specimen of the working As a specimen of the work desired in the building of these bridges, proposed bidders referred to the Valley Bridge at Beverly. The Board of Public Works knew by then they had a bridge builder. He probably had it already built by that time.
He put the bridge between two chairs
Right.
and then stood up on it.
Stood on it.
And the other people there were all bridge builders and engineers, right?
Yeah, and he challenged them to stand on their bridge.
Right, right.
He made the challenge there, and they wouldn't do it. Yeah,
That's awesome.
there he is. Them looking on. In the hushed silence that followed, Lemuel turned to the other engineers and quietly asked, "Can you stand on your models?" Yeah. Of course, no one dared.
Right.
On an old rugged cross, my Savior redeemed me, paid my sin debt, and wiped the slate clean, took away all the fear that I had of dying. I'll not be afraid when it's my time to leave. I'll not be afraid when the death angel calls me, when the raging waters of the river I'll see. I'll keep holding on to the promise he made. When I leave this old world, I'll not be afraid.
There's a hat for you to put on.
This may be too small. Yeah, it sets on. It doesn't come down very far. This is just a derby. It doesn't come down very far. And I do have kind of a big head, I think.
Death, hell, and the grave was forever defeated, when on the third day Jesus rose from the grave. Because he lived, I have the assurance, when it's my time to go, I'll not be afraid. I'll not be afraid when the death angel calls me, when the raging waters of the river I'll see. I'll keep holding on to the promise he made. When I leave this old world, I'll not be afraid.
There's an awful lot of empty space above the top of my head. But then there's a lot of empty space in my head. They ought to unite, at least. They could average it out.
I'll not be afraid when the death angel calls me, when the raging waters of the river I'll see. I'll keep holding on to the promise he made. When I leave this old world, I'll not be afraid. When I leave this old world, I'll not
was intensively used by the Native Americans. And the evidence of that is the chipped flint that we find here, which was gathered on top of Cheat Mountain. And then they came back here to chip the flint on top of the mountain. That would be very difficult. Here they had water, a water source, and we find lots of chipped flint in the yard when we work in the garden and that type of thing, and that's been by a professional addressed as the chip that existed on top of Cheat Mountain.
Yeah.
Flint can vary in color and had a lot of things, but it was practical here because we're on the water but above the water. On the water meaning we're on a high bank above the Taggart Valley River, and that's at a location that before there was ever any bridges, the rock structure here under the river was such that you could cross it. It was shale. Shale's what it was, and had it been a mud bottom, by the time you were driving the buggy, you would sink in, and if it was big rocks, you'd get hung up. So it was a very perfect location for the Native Americans to occupy, and by having that flint from the top of the mountain, they'd bring it down, and we'd know that it is valid because of the professionals that have addressed it.
Yeah. Dad, do you remember this picture?
This is a picture of Donna.
Donna is your wife.
Was my wife, and that's a picture that's across the river from here and down the river in what they usually called the swamp when I was a kid. It wasn't with alligators or anything like that. It was just river bottom, but it was kind of a wet site. But and as far as I know, that tree still exists.
We should go look for it sometime.
Turn
the picture around real quick so I can see it in the video.
It would be easy to go.
That's a big tree.
That is huge tree. That's the biggest tree I've spent a lot of time in the woods, but you can tell, and I have one by a cow standing by too.
Now, how old was...
It looks more like a dog.
How old was Mom in that picture?
Very young. I don't know, we may not even have been married at that time. She would have been young. But the Miles Lumber Company had bought the timber in there, and they were so, Mr. Miles thought it was such a huge tree that it ought to be protected, so that's why they painted an X on it so they not cut it when they did the work. The fact of the matter is, I'm not sure they could have got it on the truck.
Yeah, because it was so big.
Or into the mill.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't an act of kindness after all.
Yeah.
It's too big to handle.
That's incredible. I mean, that's always been my favorite picture. You know, you had it on your office in there. That's why I grabbed it.
Yeah, that's a very unique thing. And she's not behind it. She's standing right in the middle of the side of it.
Yeah. Well, it just reminds me how beautiful Mom is.
Yeah.
You know. got another photo. I'll hand it to you, and then I'll have the camera look at it.
Okay. That would have been, I would gather, maybe a Christmas time, a family remembrances.
Do you know who's in that photo?
Yeah, that's my great-grandson.
And his name is?
Levi Law. And Anna, I believe.
That is Anna. Turn it
Yeah.
around so I can have the camera see it.
Yeah, and that looks to be, I'm not sure, that's probably in our dining room, maybe not. There's a few things that look like it would have been there. Don't know where else it might have been.
Well, that's real nice, Dad. Alrighty, I got that. Thank you. We're doing anything I can to make a good video.
Anna and Levi, that's who those were. So,
Well, I'm going to give you a hug.
you are.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
give you a hug.
Okay, you give me a hug. Sounds hard.
I mean, it is. Do it again. Do it again.
Huh?
Do it again. It is hollow.
Yeah.
How did they make a hollow key?
A spark of hope is what I'm after. A single day with cloudless skies would surely make a change. And a friend whispering it'll be alright. Listen to my voice. Close your frightened eyes. Hide behind my love for you. Fear's only a choice. One that we all must make someday. Listen to my voice. Close your frightened eyes. Hide behind my love for you. This fear's only a choice. One that we all must make someday. So know you're not alone in there.
So, there. Say something for the camera, Dad.
Say something
For the camera?
for the camera.
Yes. This is my dad, Randy Allan.
Okay.
Okay.